All right, what is good, guys? This is kind of a different video. It's kind of like it's a different scenery that you guys are used to, and I was like, why not make a video in my car? Or I mean, it's not even my car, but essentially, obviously, you see the title. The title is how I made 100K in 1 month, and proof will follow probably at the end of the video, or maybe right now. I'm not too sure. I will put in all the payouts, but essentially well, I've already received $58,800, and the rest of the $42,000 I'm still yet to receive. I have a payout with Alpha tomorrow. It's $11,000 ish. I mean Wednesday, sorry, today's Monday, by the way. But yeah, the rest the rest I will show you at the end of the video. But I just wanted to share you guys my story first. I know, like, since last time I spoke about this, a lot of changes has happened. And you know how I came up. Obviously, as a day trader, making 100K a month from just prop firms is very, very hard. And people very underestimate this because they just look at the fact that, look, 100K does seem like a lot of money to some people, but to some people it doesn't. But especially in the prop firm industry, it is a lot of money, especially doing this across 27 payouts to be exact. Because there's a difference, right? You can make a 50 grand payout on luck, and then you can make a 20 grand payout on luck or whatnot. But 27 payouts, which averages comes down to $4,000 a payout, that is very, very consistent, right? Now, I just wanted to share my story. As you guys know, I've been trading for, I haven't been actively trading, but I've been trading for 3 years now, for 3 years. And along those years, I started with crypto. I'm just gonna start from scratch for the people that don't know me and haven't heard anything about my story. I started in 2020 when COVID hit. I got into crypto. I started investing my brother's money back in the day, and I was just doing that for 2 years. I was obviously also working in the shop of my brother. Actually, I started working pretty young. I think since the age of 14, 15 maybe, I started working. I first started working as a cleaner with my mom in 3 restaurants. I've cleaned a lot. Like, I wouldn't say a lot. That was actually quite chill work because my mom did most of the job. But I started working quite early. I've done cleaning. I've done being a barman. I've done being a server. Bringing food and drinks to the customers and whatnot. I've done a lot of shit because you can ask, I'm not gonna say you can ask my brother because you guys probably won't even know who he is, but I even had this conversation today with my brother. It's like, when you were 10, 11, 12 years old, we knew that something would come out of you because of the way that you were acting, the way you were talking about money, the way you were saying, like, look, I'm gonna make all of these monies, right? Now, obviously doing that, I started working very, very early, and I started to see the power of money and what money could benefit me in what way, my family, my parents, my brothers and whatnot. So what I started doing is I started focusing on money, right? I remember when I was going to school, I was like 15 or 16 years old. I literally didn't care about school. What I was doing is all night I was trying to come up with something. I remember very well, I started, I've done a lot of side hustles before I actually got into trading. I've done Discord mass DM advertising for NFTs. I've actually made an NFT, which we haven't finished the project because of some dumb stuff. But I was trying to make an NFT. I've done Rocket League boosting. Imagine, yeah, Rocket League, where it's a game where you rank up. I've done boosting on that because I had a bot, which was very good. And I made money after that. I didn't make crazy money, but anything that I could possibly do, I did, right? And there was a lot of side hustles like this that I could do. I think one of the biggest one is mass DM, because I did make somewhat good money out of that at the start of when NFTs were very, very popping. And back then in Discord, you could just mass advertise the whole server in DMs before it got rate limited and everything. Discord fixed all that up, but before it wasn't really there. So that was really, really nice and good. I made some money doing that. I made some money doing other side hustles, but I still kept actively working. And I remember as soon as I think a little bit before COVID hit, my brother bought his shop, a kebab shop, and I started going there working whilst going to school, on the weekends. Okay, the camera was tripping, but I think it should be good now. So I was going there, I was doing some work whilst during the holidays and whatnot. I hope also you guys can hear me because I don't have a mic on, but it should be good. So obviously, I try to speak as loud as I can as well. So obviously doing that, I didn't really have like I was just working, right? And all I thought about, I was working. And I remember like I used to work like 12, 13 hours a day, and I used to come home and I was like, I need to find something else. Like I need to keep working, right, to some point, but I want to do something else as well, right? And I think school opened again. It was like, I think it was my last year before I dropped out. I was going to school, not sleeping at night. This is also like a year after COVID, right? A year after COVID, I started taking trading very serious. Kind of like very serious in the way of like, look, I want to make trading happen. I want to make this possible, because there's a lot of things that are possible. Like I started noticing, you know, online money was coming up very, very well, especially on TikTok and Instagram and social media. Online money was getting very, very popular. So I was like, look, I want to do something with this, right? I want to make money off my phone. I want to make money off my laptop. I want to make money somehow, but I don't want to be working a job. I don't want to have a physical business, because I knew what it was to work 12 hours a day in my brother's shop. I knew what it was, right? And I was like, you know, I don't want to do this forever, because you need to look at the time schedule like this, yeah? Back in the day, we used to open at 12 o'clock. So I used to even stay above the shop, right? So above the shop there was an apartment. I used to stay there. So imagine, I'm literally 1 hour away from home. By the way, I'm like, it wasn't like with random people, just people who were working there, which I was friends with, right? But like 1 hour away from home. I would wake up at 11. I would go to work at 12. I would work till 12, and then I would come obviously upstairs really quickly, and then I would sleep maybe 3, 4, 5 a.m. because I'm trying to find something else to make money. And I've done that for a very, very, very long time, like maybe a year or two. And I was always trying to escape the fact that I don't want to do this forever, right? You can work maybe a few hours a day, and then you'll have the rest of your day, and that'll be fine. But with me, it wasn't. Like I don't know, I had this feeling that something had to change, because I just didn't see and couldn't see myself doing this forever. So what I did is I started obviously taking trading more serious. So mid 2022, I started taking trading very, very serious, and that's really when like my career kind of changed, because what I was doing, I was like, I would say mid 2022 is also the year I dropped out, if I'm not mistaken. I think at the end of 2022 I dropped out completely out of school. So what it was, I was in one grade before I would get out of school, right, be like college, and I would get my degree and whatnot. And what happened was, I failed, right? I could go to one division lower and continue the next year, but then I had to do 2 years, right? So I failed kind of, and I was like, fuck this school. I was just sleeping all day anyway at school. Like I didn't give a fuck, because at night I was just working. And then at some point, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna drop out. And then my dad opened this shop, and I started working there full time. And I've done that for almost 2 years, and that kind of did help me in a way of, I was like making I was like trading as well on the side, because 2022 October is when my dad opened the shop. So I was literally doing full-time work and full-time trading, even though I wasn't as profitable. Like I was flipping accounts from $200 to $500 and $1,000, but like it wasn't something crazy, right? Now anyways, I've done that. I was trading crypto. I made a bit of money. I lost a bit of money, whatever. Crypto wasn't really like my main thing anyway. But I was like, you know what? I can see that this is working. I can see that there is a future out of this. I can see that something has to happen. Because growing up, like I'm not gonna talk bad about my parents, because I did have a normal upbringing. Like I did have a normal life. My dad and my mom are immigrants, by the way. They came like I think 2-3 years before I was born, or my sister. So I'm not gonna talk bad on them, because they did a lot of shit for me and for my family, which I'm grateful for. But like I didn't have the craziest life either, right? There used to be this guy at school, which I was kind of jealous at the start of because obviously the year that I dropped out of school, I turned 18, and this guy would always pull up with his dad's car, and like his car was like 200 grand or some shit. And I would always be like, you know, this is what I would want my son to do, to just be fucking 18, not give a fuck, and just take my car, one of 5 or one of 10 cars, which is 200 grand, because I couldn't care less. Now anyways, I was like, I don't know, like there's a lot of times where I was very, very mad at the point that I'm not there yet, right? Because now this is also a very bad thing, is a lot of people compare themselves to people that are doing millions, at the same age, which is not really what you should do because their level and your level is not the same. But as I was doing that, and this might sound boring part for you guys, but this is just, I'm explaining my story for people that are interested in the story, and I will get into the rest obviously along that we're talking. But like, as I'm working, and obviously as that, like that guy, that like the way they had money was just different, right? And I was like, you know, there has to be a way to make so much money that you don't give a fuck about money anymore, right? There has to be a way. Now I started really digging deep into trading, and I remember this very well. Like I was working the first year was going well. Like I was working, I was making decent money, obviously working, and like it was not life-changing money, but because I was living with my parents, I didn't really have bills to pay. And I did that for a year. I did trading as well. Trading didn't really like settle consistently yet until the end of 2023. Now anyways, I think September 2023, yeah, I'm funded like 700 grand. I'm on top of the world. I'm thinking, okay, this is my time. 700 grand, I'm funded. I lost it all in one go. Literally, without getting a payout, I lost all the funding because I thought I was a smart ass. I'm just gonna copy all of the accounts. Now I did that. I breached the accounts. Then I was depressed. I swear on my life, I was depressed for a whole month. And I was just depressed because I thought I was a failure, right? I was depressed, like, look, how the fuck did I breach these accounts? I could have made so much money, and I was thinking, right? I was going into these scenarios and whatnot. Now, doing all of that kind of makes or breaks you, right? You're either gonna keep continuing with life after such a loss, because obviously, like, I mean, as a man, you are supposed to continue anyway. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do anyway? Okay, I take the loss, I'm a bitch. Like, I'm a bitch ass. No. So what I did was, I was like, you know, I took a month break from trading, and I remember very well those times, like the shop wasn't really doing good, and I used to be the owner of the shop, so I didn't take any money from the shop. I was working, and I didn't even take my own wage to just pay the shop's bills, right? Because we were like at like break-even point, and I didn't want to pay myself out, because the thing is, like, if I pay myself out, I know next week the supplier is gonna text me, and I'm gonna have the headache. So I was like, you know, I might as well not pay myself. So I remember this is kind of the turning point of my career, I would say. And the turning point of my career was exactly like this. I went to the gas station. Imagine, I'm picking up bread and I'm going to the supplier. I'm picking up some stuff, some sauces and whatnot, and I'm going to the gas station. Yeah, imagine, fucking gas station. I'm trying to buy a Red Bull. It's like $2, $3, yeah, and my card declines. And I'm not even joking, my card declines, and I'm ashamed. I don't have the company card on me, I don't have cash on me, nothing, and I'm ashamed as fuck. And I'm like, how can I think I was 19 years old then, not have 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, not even $1,000 to my name? And I was ashamed of myself, I swear. I think on the drive to the shop, because I put the Red Bull right back where it belonged, and on the drive to the shop, I think I cried, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I need to actually lock the fuck in, because there's no way on earth that what I'm doing right now makes fucking sense. There's no way on earth. I'm 19 years old and I don't have a single penny to my name, and I can't even afford a Red Bull. And I've thought about this thought for a very, very long time, and it just sat with me, that the fact that I saw people making money and I know how to make money, but I don't know, like, you know, sometimes in your mind something just doesn't click. And that was it for me. Now, anyways, right after that happened, I went to the shop. I started working I started working normal. Then I came home. I started backtesting like a maniac. I think I started backtesting like 100 trades a day. On my day off, I would backtest for 12 hours. For 12 hours, I would backtest, because I was like, look, if I'm gonna make trading happen, I'm gonna make it happen the best fucking way. And there's nothing or nobody that will be able to stop me, because I will do it the way it's supposed to be done. I will do it the correct way, and I will fucking make so much money that people are gonna be shocked at how much money I'm making, right? And from 2024 on, alhamdulillah, I've had very good months. I've had 10k, 20k, 30, 40, 50, 80 was my peak last year in August, which I remember very well. Alhamdulillah, this month 100 grand only in payouts. This is not considered anything else, just payouts. Now, looking back at all this time, looking back at seeing 100 grand P&L across 12 funded accounts. How does it feel? And I'm gonna tell you guys honestly, today I'm at 27K, by the way, and I don't feel anything. I don't feel anything. I don't feel any good. I don't feel any, like, obviously I always feel bad, but like, I don't feel any bad. I won't feel any better the more money I make. It's just life gets easier in a way that only where, like, life gets easier as a point where life has money, right? And it will only get easier for the stuff that you have money for. Obviously, like, there's stuff that money can't buy, but if you're broke, you can't, like, you will have the same problems anyway. But like, money won't fix those problems, right? And I'm someone who says money does fix every problem. Yes, it does. But some problems, for example, let's say you're going through a breakup, right? As much as money you make, which is very well, and you're gonna be very, like, pleased with yourself, and you're gonna be proud and whatnot, you will still have that breakup feeling, right? And that will just be there for a while, or I don't know how fucking long while that's gonna take for your breakup to get over, but that's just how life is. And I've had a lot of times where I've been used for money, I've been only seen for money, I've been only texted for money. There's a lot of times where I've done stuff that I wish I didn't do, and I've had a lot of people stab me in the back. And I think this also built me my mental as well, that no matter what people do to me anymore, it's like I already expected it, right? It's like, it's the same thing, like, you know, it's like, I'll give the most basic explanation, yeah, and this is what you probably should take away from me, guys, as someone who was experienced there. Simply imagine you're talking to a girl, yeah, you talk to a girl, you start liking the girl. I'm telling you, if you give the girl too much attention, or if you like the girl too much and you show that you like the girl too much, no matter how good of a human being you are, or no matter how good you treat her, she will always leave you. And this is just the human nature of females, and I don't fucking know why. And this might not go for every female, this might only go for the wrong females, or the females that don't have any interest in you. But these females will show you interest. There's even females that will text you first. They want you. They want your time. They want your attention, and you will give it to them. And then once you do, they will just dip. And it's not like in a way of, look, like, you know, you have some females that, like, that they text you, and they will tell you, like, look, I don't want to talk anymore, and that's it, right? And they just dip. You have females like that, which is crazy if you think about it, right? Imagine you're a guy, you're talking to a female for 2 months, you have feelings, whatnot, and then one day you're like, okay, I'm gonna have to dip, and you won't ever text her again, and you won't ever do shit, which is how it's supposed to go, right? Like, this is also something that, the fucking camera's going on. This is also something that you should do, by the way, but I know it's very hard. And like, obviously when you're in love, or when you have some kind of feelings for a female, it's very hard to tell you what to do. But whenever a female puts you through this, and again, listen to me, trust me, this is just what's gonna happen, you have to take it up your chin as a man, and accept that, okay, what's done is done. I'm never gonna text her again, obviously, unless she texts you or whatnot, but I'm never gonna text her again, and I'm gonna accept this loss as a man. Because no matter what you do, no matter what you try to do, she will not come back. No matter how much effort you will put in, no matter how better you make yourself, because a lot of females will put the blame on you, which is not true, which is also why you should know your self-worth. They're gonna just put the blame on you, and the sooner you realize that, obviously, because there's a lot of people that will put the blame, and they will blame themselves, which is not their fault. But females will always blame you, so whatever you do, it doesn't matter. Like, they will never be happy, right? So you should take it up to your chin as a man. Realize, like, okay, like, a real man is never stays where he isn't wanted, right? If you're staying at where you're not wanted, you're a bitch ass guy. You're just a pussy. It's very simple. So if someone tells you to fucking get the fuck out, you just get out. And it's simple. You just accept it. Okay, I'm getting out. Whatever. It is what it is. You'll feel your heart fucking shake for a day or two, but you're a man, right? Go make some money. That's what I could say. Now, anyways, saying that, I had a lot of times where, like, you know, you're gonna feel like backstabbed. You're gonna feel like people, like, you're gonna feel in your life that a lot of things don't go in the right. Now, as I was saying, my camera fucking fell off. Like, as I was saying, you know, females will always be females, and it is what it is. Now, obviously, like, in my past 3 years or 2 years of making money, there will be a lot of people that will use you for money, and this is not a good feeling, because it's literally like people will text you solely for money, and sometimes it can be your own family, and sometimes you still will give the money no matter how much you know that they're just texting you for money. And this is something that's just a human nature, I think. It's something that you can't avoid, it's something that you can't stop, and it's like you can't really do much about it. Like, you can do as much as you want, you can say as much as you want, but whenever your heart is fighting your mind, you can't really do shit about it. And all you have to do is just think and think and think. Like, sometimes before doing something you have to think twice, or sometimes before doing something you have to think 3 times or 4 times or 5 times, because you just have to realize that, okay, maybe I'm gonna make this mistake, and maybe if you think twice you won't be making that mistake. Or maybe if you think 3 times or 4 times, you'll start coming up with like, okay, maybe I'm just retarded and maybe I shouldn't do this. Or maybe you go to your friend who keeps you accountable and you tell him, look, do you think this is smart? And then he's gonna tell you, no, this is not smart, and you shouldn't fucking do it, and you're fucking retarded, okay? Now, this will also build your mental psychology, because you need to realize that the more people fuck you over, kind of, the more your mind and your, like, the more harder you get, the more you can ease off the pain, and the more you get stronger. Because at the end of the day, there will always be a fight between your mind and your heart. No matter what you do, no matter how strong you are, no matter how rich you are, no matter how much money you have, like, your mind and your heart will never base you off your bank account or anything like that. Your mind and your heart will always fight. Only thing that gets stronger is your mind. Your heart doesn't get stronger, trust me, it just stays the same, because at some point your mind will just take over. And you need to realize that, okay, let's say you're going through a breakup. The stronger your mind is, the stronger the feeling of the mind overpowering your heart, right? You will still have that feeling of, okay, this wasn't a nice breakup, or, you know, I like this girl or whatnot. But your mind will always be stronger. It will always be stronger, and you will always be like, okay, it is what it is, whatever. You will keep going, because there's a thing with depression is, if you outcompete depression, if you outwork depression, it will never catch up. Imagine you're busy all day. There's no way depression can catch up with you if you're working all day. There's no way. So if you feel like, okay, you know, I keep thinking about this guy or this girl or about this specific topic, you know, this doesn't have to be about breakups. This could just be about normal life, or, I don't know, someone who left you in your family. I don't know, like, anything in your life. It's like, the more busy you get, the less you think about it, because when you're busy, you don't think about shit but just working. And that's just the truth, right? And that's why you should always be super, super busy, and try to do as much work as possible, because one, you'll start making good money and normal money, and 2, you'll start making, you know, normal decisions and not bad decisions. Now, anyways, all of that just simply comes down to your mind, and making your mind stronger comes with losses. I've taken a lot of losses in my life. I don't know, like, I've done decent amount of size and payouts, and I still haven't bought shit for myself. Like, obviously, like, I bought small things, I bought this or I bought that. But as a guy, for example, I would like a car. I haven't bought a car. Why? You could ask why, whatever. But a lot of things has to sit on its time. A lot of things has to sit on its place for things to happen. Like, you know, there's a time where something has the right time, and that's just that. You know, sometimes doing it 5 months earlier, or doing it a month earlier, or doing it a year earlier might not be the move, right? And that's why you should always pray to God and ask God for guidance, and wait for the right moment to do what you're supposed to do, and to buy what you want to buy, or, I don't know, you know, anything in life that you want, you should always ask for guidance from God. So, you know, that's the mindset part, I would say, of just trading. It's like, a lot of things in your life will influence you in trading. Like, you know, I've seen 10K, 20K, 100K go off my screen like that. And, you know, I'm telling you guys, if you see 100K go off your balance, you will feel so fucking bad, you will cry yourself to sleep. And after that feeling, there's not much worse feeling that can come up. And I'm telling you guys out of experience, there's a lot of things like that can't get worse. And that's a good thing, right? You have to see the worst to be like, you know, like if I would take a 5K loss right now, I wouldn't even give a shit, bro. Like I wouldn't even shred, like I wouldn't even blink my eye because of how fucking numb I am to the numbers. But I know people who see $200 P&L and they get shaky. See, that's the difference between the mindsets. Like I can tell you as much as you want psychology wise, but at some point you have to take the loss and you have to take the L and you have to learn your lesson. And that's just, it is what it is. Like you can't really fast forward the, like, sure, you can fast forward your ideas, I mean your journey, like you can get profitable quicker, sure, but if you're someone who's just a pussy and who's scared of making money or losing money or whatever, it's like you can't really do much. And all you can do is just go through the lessons and learn and learn and learn and learn. Like you first learn and then you start earning, you know, you remove the L, you start earn whatever. So that coming down to the trading part, did I expect to make 100K this month? No, I didn't. I fucking did not. I remember last year I had 2.4 million of funding. I've done 80 grand. This year, now I have 1.6 million funding. Did I expect to make 100 grand? Fuck no. Did I make 100K? Fuck yes. I fucking did. And I started noticing, like, I think around the, like, a week ago or 2 weeks, like, I would say a week ago, because it's 22nd of this, September, by the way, 22nd. And the month isn't over, and I'm already over 101K. So, obviously, I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna make 150K because we're only halfway, because most of the payouts are just due to come. So I'm just not gonna be trading, but it might be a little bit over 101, maybe like 105, maybe 110. But that's not really that important. I didn't expect to make this money, which is probably why I made this money. Like last month, I did $28,500 in payouts, which is still significantly good considering it's consistent. I think over the past year and a half, since 2023 December, I haven't had a month without 3-4 payouts, which alhamdulillah I can say is very good, because I've been able to take care of my family. I've been able to bless my family. I've been able to spoil my family. It could be my brother, it could be my parents, it could be my sister. You know, whenever they want or need something, it will get done in its measures, right? I'm not gonna fucking start buying my brother a Bugatti when I can't even afford one myself, you know, stuff like that. But obviously, you know what the thing is, like, and I put this down in my notes because this is such a real quote, and I will probably keep this in my mind a lot of times, because like at some point you won't really get happy, and I don't want to be happy in a way of like, you know, sometimes I just think and I think like I just can't be happy. Like I made 26 racks today, for example, or 28 or whatever the fuck it may be. Like I don't even give a fuck. I feel like I just can't be happy. Like, you know, there's like you will have like voids, and you will have like emptiness inside of you, and you start filling those emptiness not by giving money yourself or making money yourself, but making others happy. Like you need to realize, like at some point, making other people happy will make you happy as well, and making other people happy will fill kind of the void. Like for example, this quote says, I try to fill my void of happiness by making others happy. And this is so real, because at some point you just don't get happy anymore, and you're just in this same loop of just, you're making money. Like you're still living the good life, don't get me wrong, but you won't be as happy. Or maybe if you make more money, or maybe when you do more stuff, you'll feel happy, but there's never a genuine feeling of fun, and never a genuine feeling of stuff like that. And I don't want it, because I think it would just knock me off my grind, right? And I think that just, we've come to the point, and I think this is the sacrifice of the process, and this is just a sacrifice to be this profitable and to make this much money, is just that at some point you gotta stop having fun, you gotta stop being happy, you gotta always be mad, always be pissed, always be fucking angry at yourself, and just, you know, it is what it is. Like you gotta just be like, it's whatever, you know, whatever happens, I don't give a fuck. Like my car could crash today, I wouldn't care, bro. Like I wouldn't give a fuck, even if it would cost me 100 grand. Like maybe it's a financial loss, but who gives a fuck, you know? Like at some point you get numb to everything, even to the bad things, even to the good things. You don't think about things twice. You don't think about people's opinions. You're just with yourself, you know, you're just chilling. And I know this title, by the way, is How I Made 100K, and I'm not gonna do a breakdown of this. I will do another video of an actual breakdown with all the payouts and everything. But I'm not gonna do that in this video. But as I said, you know, at some point, you're just saying like, it is what it is, it's whatever. you know, I chose this path and I made myself this numb, and I've made the decisions I've made for a reason. And yes, I don't regret anything I've done in my life till some extent. Obviously, like, you know, making use of yourself to other people would be in regret, but then again, you had some lessons from that. So is it really a regret? Probably not. It just makes you harder and smarter and stronger. But it's just the fact that, you know, you have to sacrifice a lot of stuff, and it's not fun, and I don't enjoy it, and I will never enjoy it. And it is what it is. Like, I show up every day, I do the same shit, and I make my money. I'm happy. Alhamdulillah, I make my money, and I make very good money. And I'm not complaining, and I will never complain, because I've done this shit to myself. I owe everything to God, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but I've done this shit on my own and with God, and I owe it to Him. But nobody else helped me, and nobody else will ever fucking help me, and I know that. Which is the reason why I'm not fucking complaining, and I'm not having any issues with what I am, or who I am, or what I'm doing. Because I feel like I am at the best version I could be myself, in my mind and in my heart. Not probably as wealthy wise, because I think I could be way richer, and I could make way more 100Ks a month, and I could make millions a month. But obviously, delayed gratification is always better than instant gratification, you know. And you know, life gets tough. You will have some bad stuff happen. Like I think 2 days ago, I had some dumb shit happen to me, and like, I was pissed. Like, you know, when I was like, it was something that I don't really want to talk about too much, but something just happened in my life that I was quite pissed about, because there was a thing in my life that made me happy for some specific reasons, and that kind of makes you feel happy for a bit. And it does, like, you know, you need to realize things about this. Let's say you're unhappy for 12 hours a day, right? Which is normal, you're working, whatever. And then you'll be happy for 2 hours a day because of something. And then you go to sleep or whatever, and then the same thing. So those 2 hours will mean significantly to you, because before those 2 hours existed, you had nothing, right? And even if, let's say, you buy a car, and that car for 2 hours, it saves your life, you drive around, you have the most fun in your life. When you didn't have that car, you didn't have those 2 hours. So when you buy that car and you lose that car to, let's say, an accident or whatever, then you will feel the void of those 2 hours, which is what I have right now. And this is not about a car, by the way, but it is what it is. And it's whatever. Like, you just gotta take it up the chin. You're like, okay, this is a loss. It's whatever. And it does hurt. Yes, it is annoying, and it pissed me off very much. But at the same time, this will always lead to the better. This will always be a better thing that will happen for me. This will always, like, I don't ever see anything as a loss. I always see everything as a lesson. And the lesson might be that I maybe bought a car too fast, right? Or maybe I drove too fast, or I didn't drive carefully enough, or that the car was just shit in itself. You know, the car could just be a shit car, and the car crashed on you, or the car broke down in the middle of the highway, and it's not your fault, right? I'm not speaking about cars, but you should get the point. And this is all possible, and this is all a lesson. This is not your fault. Like, I'm never blaming myself for stuff that happens unless it's my own fault, right? I'm talking about outside stuff. Like, for example, a car breaking down. As long as you maintain the car and you make the car happy, the car shouldn't break down on you, right? Which is the same thing. Now, anyway, with that, this happened 2 days ago. I made 28K today. Do I feel any better? No. Do I feel still the same as 2 days ago? Yes. But do I care? No. Like, it is what it is, right? You can make as much as money you want. You will still have the same feeling, but not making that money probably would make me feel even worse. Like, I'd rather be sad and happy, like rich, than fucking be broke and happy. Because I couldn't give a fuck about being happy and being broke, because that shit is impossible. I couldn't be happy being broke. I don't know about other people. I don't give a fuck about other people. I just couldn't be happy when I'm broke. Now, anyways, I think I should sum it up here, and I should finish this video, because I don't want to fuck you guys' head too much. It's just whatever. It's just as usual. You know, stuff in life happens, and I can't really do much about it than just take it on the chin. Accept that sometimes you take a loss in life. You have to bounce back as strong as you are, as whatever as you are. You just have to bounce back, So hope you guys, I don't know, enjoy this video, whatever. Maybe you can resonate with my story. Like, I think just the hunger comes from fucking being broke. I remember my parents were very broke. Like, I wouldn't say very, very broke, but after a shop started doing unwell, and I started, like, I remember I would just take a wage out of the company for myself just to pay my mom. So I wouldn't even, like, I think I worked for free for like a year. And alhamdulillah, Forex was working, so I didn't really need the money. But I was working for free just because I had to pay the bills at home. And I've been supporting my mom for over a year and a half now, and I'm only 22. So I take care of my mom. Alhamdulillah, she's retired. She doesn't work because I take care of her, which I'm very proud of. And obviously, like, this is a good milestone for myself. But I'm never pleased enough, and I probably will never be. And it doesn't really matter because all we care about is money. Now, with that being said, I am planning on buying a new car, inshallah. If I do buy that car, you guys will see it. And I'm not really sure if I will buy it. Like, I am planning on buying it, but obviously if it doesn't align and it's not meant to be, then it's not meant to be. And this is actually about a car, by the way. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. So if it is meant to be, then you guys will see it very, very soon. So with that being said, hope you guys did enjoy the video. I'm gonna dip now. I'm gonna go to my cousin Aiden. I'm gonna go to the gym. You know, go to the gym if you have any mental stress, if you're in a breakup, if someone from your family died or something like that. Just go hit the gym, okay? And it will help you for a couple hours. At least those hours you ain't crying, right? So anyways, hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe.